What are some of the in your where do you see some of the greatest opportunities in you interacting with some of your clients or people you know? Where do you feel that the biggest need right now for leadership development is?
Personal branding.
Ooh, so everybody needs to have a podcast.
Yeah, they need to have to use every app, whether it's a podcast or whether it's an online presence or whether it's the way you talk or the way you dress and the way you. Yeah. So and personal branding is not only about how you look and how you talk. It's also about how people think of you. Yeah. What is their mental image of you? I call it the invisible signboard that you walk around with that advertise, ladies and gentlemen, the world, this is who I am. C'est moi. Ich bin.
Yeah.
So
I am.
So yes, this is who I am. You know. So, and I find a lot of leaders, they have a lot of faux pas, and they inadvertently make mistakes that tarnish their personal brand because they don't know how to frame it and how to design it and how to live it. Yeah. That one of the biggest elements is not just the way they look and they talk, but also the way they behave, the way they send emails, the way they act.
They need to let their actions speak for them, which I think is important. And then and it's okay to humbly brag a little bit or let people know, do good things and talk about it. We say in German, right?
Yeah. And let me tell you this: there's a fine line between bragging and being proud. Yeah, is your intent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, your intent. If your intent is that I'm saying this because I want people to be inspired and to be, and to look up to that people, that is possible. Yeah. If Hayssam can do it, if Mark can do it, I can do it. Or if you're just saying, hey, let me tell you how great I am because I think I'm God's gift to humanity, and then leaders come across as full of themselves.
Yeah. I would like to add a little bit to the personal brand because I'm digesting it. I agree with you to a certain extent because we both endorse and embrace the personal brand.
Yeah.
I think our style of personal branding is very, very determined by our life's experience and our age, and hopefully our wisdom and the mistakes we've learned in life. What triggers me a little bit in the social space is that I think a lot of people learn the process of self-promotion, but they have no content to offer. The content is shallow. It's faking it with the concept of making it. I think that personal branding is important. I think you need to be aware of it, whether you're I think the best thing that can happen to you in your career is that you never have to apply for a job. People reach out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know that you have a certain reputation or brand to go with.
Yeah.
But I think there's like with everything, I think with art or with anything else, there's a fine line between kitsch, going overboard and doing it the wrong way and it being a beautiful thing. So that's I think important. What else is should leaders? But I would agree with you on an executive level. Personal branding, maybe not in the sense of what I'm on Instagram or I'm TikToking.
No,
but now I think it's the coin is dropping. I agree with you. I think what I sorely miss, and you said this beforehand when you were working with certain managers, they were gods. They were gregarious, gracious people that you saw, that you felt, their presence emanated, their culture. They led by example. They were approachable. That is the kind of personal brand that I often miss in companies. I think it's where's the CEO? Where people that like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, they stuck out. They represented something.
Yeah, it's their executive presence, and executive presence is something that you can learn. Yeah. I have a client of mine who just took on a CEO role. He went from middle management and went directly to CEO. Wonderful guy, and he said, "Hayssam, I've got my style is I'm this approachable guy, and I get involved with everybody, and my office is always open, and I deal with this with the lowest of the employees, and now I'm a CEO. I've got big responsibilities. I've got a big business to manage. How do I make sure that I don't depart from this nice guy personality and not become this, suddenly you're CEO, look at yourself, you don't talk to us anymore." So, there's pros and cons to this.
Between being a sucker and being aloof. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where personal branding comes in.
Yeah.
it's not about being a nice guy or not a nice guy. It's not about being available or not being available. Is that there are certain principles and values